You're listening to Track Talk with the RacinBoys, brought to you by McCarthy Chevrolet in Olathe, or visit them online at McCarthyChevyKC.com.
Welcome back. It's Track Talk on Sports Radio 810 WHB and the RacinBoys Broadcasting Network. Don't forget, we'll be live at Peoria, Arizona, the Copper Classic. Live tonight on RacinBoys.com. It's the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Car Tour. Hear everything that goes on starting at 8 o'clock Central Time. If you're out here in the desert like we are, to start at 7 o'clock. So hope you can tune in. We had a bunch of people hanging out with us last night on the chat room. It was a blast. Tony Stewart was there. Kenny Wallace was there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was there at the race as well. So a lot of great drivers and not only drivers, but some great NASCAR drivers there as well. Speaking of great drivers, a guy that picked up a win last weekend, and I think some people were surprised by it, but nevertheless, he is the winner. John King joins us down on Track Talk. John, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate you getting up and taking the time to be on the show. I know this is the number one question everybody asks you, probably right out of the box. Have you soaked it in yet? What happened last week at Daytona?
Man, it's still soaking in. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's so far-fetched almost. We went down there with the intention to just finish the race. You know, I had never been on Daytona. I'd been there since I was a kid. You know, every year, but I'd never driven on the racetrack. So I was as green as they come, I guess. Just got really fortunate and missed a bunch of wrecks and made it all the way to the end. But man, it's something else. I mean, it's an experience. All the support that we've gotten from it. I mean, you know, guys race their entire careers and don't ever get a chance to win Daytona, and we've done it on our first attempt. Just very fortunate.
Yeah. Well, what was your nerves like there at the point when you knew that you had a chance to win? I mean, you're up there. That's a high pressure cooker you got going on now. You're up at the front. You got a bunch of veterans you're racing around. You got Todd Bodine behind you, Johnny Sauter in front of you. Take us through your emotions at that point.
Well, I think if I would have had time to sit there and think about it, I probably would have gotten real nervous.
Yeah.
But it all happened pretty quick. So when you're in the moment, you know, you lose focus on just exactly what it is you're doing. You just focus on getting it done, and that's kind of what I felt. But man, we were just focused in on making it to the end. You know, I felt like we would have had a chance at the end. I felt like we did have a chance to win the race, running second, and I would have been happy just finishing at that point. You know, because it was such a wild race.
John King is joining us. He is the winner of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at Daytona. A little bit about your background. Tell us a bit about your career before you jumped in one of these trucks.
Well, I started racing late in life. I didn't start racing until I was 16. Got in dirt late models here in Tennessee. Started running in the crate class. I ran those for a couple years. In 2008, I got hooked up with Bill Elliott and got in his driver development program in Dawsonville, Georgia, and ran super late model dirt cars all in 2008. At the end of 2008, started 2009, we made the switch to asphalt late models in the NASCAR Wheeling All-American Series and the UARA late model series. Did nothing but in 2009. 2010, we built a new dirt car, and we went back dirt racing some as well as asphalt racing. 2011, still ran our late model stocks on asphalt, and 2010 and 2011 started in trucks, ran 4 races in 2010 in the truck series and 3 in 2011, and we're fortunate enough to get hooked up at the end of last year with Red Horse Racing and get something put together for this year. And it's a great opportunity. It's a great organization. You know,
Red Horse has won some races, haven't they? And this isn't the first time they've won at Daytona.
No, sir. And that wasn't the first time that particular truck had won at Daytona either.
Oh, really?
Timothy Peters won in that same truck in 2010. Yes, sir.
Want to hang on to that truck right there. I got to ask you, I listened to you on, I don't know if it was Moody's show or somebody's on satellite radio, and you said that you were going to give Johnny a call. Did you make that phone call? How'd that work out?
I did. I made that phone call and haven't been able to get up with him yet. But you know, it was unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it happened. Of course, you know, tore up a bunch of trucks. But it was one of those situations where everybody was real close and nobody gave. You know, and it's hard when you're in the draft like that. I mean, all we can see is spoiler braces. I mean, that's you really have to rely on the spotter. And when you get in a tight situation like that, it's those things are going to happen. The closing rate was real fast on Johnny, and I wasn't. You know, I had time in the weeks prior to Daytona to pick Todd Bodine and Timothy Peters' brains a lot. I'm pretty sure they got tired of answering my questions, but I'd heard all the horror stories about pushing and how hairy it gets, especially through the tri-oval. So I had in my mind, I'm not going to push through the corners. I'm going to wait till I get on the back stretch or on the front stretch on the straightaways. And I had made it to Johnny's bumper going into the tri-oval and started rolling out the throttle, and I never did stop. You know, I couldn't get off of him, and ultimately wrecked him and tore up some trucks. But it wasn't until after the race that I learned that we were all hooked up coming through there, and I had a lot of help behind.
It looked like to me it was a combination of a couple things. Correct me if I'm wrong. You had Todd kind of pushing you a little bit, and then you kind of slid his bumper just a little bit. Your truck kind of moved a little bit, and I think ultimately that's what hooked him, is when you had that, you know, that push and that little slide at that same moment, and that's where the problem lied. It looked like to me.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, those trucks move around a lot in the draft, and you know, not saying that I did everything right, but I got to him with intention of staying off of him, and like you said, we were getting pushed from behind, and I got pushed up the racetrack a little bit, and he moved up, I guess, to thinking that I was trying to pass him, maybe block me. I'm not sure. Like I said, I hadn't had a chance to speak with him yet, but it's just unfortunate. And I hate it. You know, never in a million years would I try to wreck somebody like that. I mean, that was a bad deal. I was pretty shaken up after the wreck. I'm sure y'all heard on the radio chatter. It's been played a lot, but it's just, you know, not in my intentions at all.
I gotta ask you this question because I tweeted this. You were, you know, just lost for words. Obviously, that's the biggest win of your career. But do you regret now not saying something like, "Man, I'm sorry for what happened with Johnny Sauter there"? I mean, I would have thought that might have been the first thing that come out of your mouth. But you just, I mean, everything going on is kind of crazy. Your mind doesn't really work as it normally would.
No, it's you know, it's one of those emotional moments where everything just floods, you know, and it was like you said, I was literally at a loss for words. I mean, I didn't know. My gosh, I mean, people race there their whole careers and don't get a win, and we'd done it on our first attempt. I mean, it was just a flurry of emotions that I couldn't get any thoughts together, you know, until about it took about 10 minutes till we got to the media center, but you know, it's a great opportunity and a great chance that I've been blessed with to run with Red Horse. Got a lot of support from Toyota and TRD and some great engines coming out of Joe Gibbs' engine shop. I'm telling you, absolutely unbelievable power. But just looking forward to the rest of the year. We got a great team in place. My crew chief, Chad Kendrick, a great owner, Tom DeLoach. Everybody loves him. You know, everybody's more than happy to work there at Red Horse. So I'm just thankful for the opportunities and ready to go on to the next one.
Yeah, does this give you a great sense of confidence now? It's going to be a while before you race in your next event, but a win like this, a week out, do you feel that this is really going to carry your team forward?
I think so. You know, I'm a rookie in a lot of senses, and at a lot of racetracks. There's a lot of racetracks that I haven't run on, so I think that we were really able to showcase what the guys at Red Horse in the shop can do, you know, and what great equipment they prepare, you know. They put me in a great truck at Daytona, as you know, Timothy and Todd. I mean, we ran 1-2-6. You know, at the end, if it would have gone stayed green, we probably. I mean, I feel like we probably could have finished 1-2-3. I mean, that's a huge statement for Red Horse Racing and for a truck team to be able to bring 3 trucks to a track like Daytona and all 3 of us be competitive. You know, even the rookie as myself. So. I honestly feel like we're going to be able to put together some more good runs. You know, I've been to some of these tracks and some tracks I got more laps than others, of course, but I've got two of the best teachers in the truck series in Todd Bodine and Timothy Peters.
No doubt about it.
Class A people. Just great people away from the racetrack. Forget about racing. Great people, and more than happy to help me and answer any question that I've got, as well as everybody else in the shop. I've got Terry Cook in my ear. 400 truck starts. I don't know. Is there anybody else, Ron Hornaday maybe, that's got that kind of seat time in the truck series?
Yeah. Maybe Skinner would be the only other guy, probably.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, probably so.
It's a great opportunity.
Well, I will tell you, you've probably resonated with a lot of our fans. We've been doing this show now 14 years, and we have a lot of dirt fans. And knowing that you drove a dirt late model, hey, did you ever run with the Lucas Oil late model series, the World of Outlaw late models? Did you any of that stuff when you were running the late model?
Just select races.
Yeah.
We just ran super late models in 2008. Traveled a lot. Rarely would we run the same track 2 weeks in a row. We just kind of hit the road. Being as I started late, and I felt like that would be our best bet at learning a lot, going to a different racetrack every week, and we did. We got to where we could adapt to the racetrack and driving style that I needed to change to fairly quick and run good wherever we went. So I ran some select races with them, not a full-time season or anything like that, but yes, sir. Planning on getting back on dirt this year as well.
All right, good for you, man. Congratulations on your win, John. Thanks for taking the time to join us. And go get him the rest of the way, man. Pick up another win this year. It would be great to see it.
Sounds good. Hey, thank y'all so much for having me on.
Hey, you're welcome.
All right.
Congratulations, John. There he is, John
Thank
King, the first race winner down at Daytona. Doesn't get any bigger than that, does it?
Win your first race at Daytona. Holy cow, that is big. Huh? Nice guy, too.
It had to be a blur when he drove into Victory Lane down there. It's easy to criticize. Well, he should have said something there of that. But, he'd be hard-pressed to remember anything about what happened. It had to be such a blur.
Well, I did. I was a little critical of it, to be honest with you, because I thought that was something that he should have done. But, again, first win, first time out, I can see how that happens, because how many times have we went off the air, Kirk went, oh, man, we meant to talk about that. Weekly almost.
It happens,
sometimes,
and I'm sure he sounds like the guy that would be critical of himself right after Victory Lane that he didn't mention that. So there's probably no one more harder on himself that he didn't say something about, hey, I took out Johnny Sauter, sorry about that, but hey, that's the way it goes, and he sounds like a good guy, and I'm betting that he wins more races down the road. I don't think this is any fluke. He's got a good team. That Red Horse Racing is well-funded, and he's got good teammates out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins another race here before the end of the year.
I would not be surprised either, Kirk. All right, well, hour number 2 is coming up here in just a little bit, Kirk. Again,
so 3 minutes.
Tell everybody who the guests are, because you've got just a huge amount of guests in hour number 2.
We do, and there's 8 members going into the Carb Hall of Fame for the 9th year the Carb Hall of Fame has been in existence. We have Dale Roper on the show coming up in hour number 2 on RacinBoys.com. Dennis Melvin, Bill Oots, Rick Darling, Jay Lyle, and Bud Honeycutt will be here to talk about 2 of our deceased.
All in an hour.
All in an hour. Wes Farron.
All in an hour.
Yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed, hour-long show coming up on Racing Boys here in just a few minutes from now.
And then tonight on Racing Boys as well, you'll be able to listen to the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. Everybody knows that we do that. That's what we do, cover sprint car racing during the summer. And our broadcast are brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. It's live on RBN, the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network. It's the Copper Classic at Canyon Speedway Park. Last night, Tony Bruce picks up night number 1. Tony Stewart was there. Ricky Stenhouse was there. We had both the Cup and the Nationwide Series champ hanging out with us last night. And Kenny Wallace driving a local guy's modified. We will air tonight that modified race. So all you dirt fans out there that want to hear something besides the sprint car racing, we will have the A-Main. They have a great track announcer there, so he does a good job. So you'll hear tonight's A-Main with the modifieds from Canyon Speedway Park. It should be good, and you can listen to Kenny Wallace to see how he does.
Yeah, Smoke. Tony Stewart, he was out there last night. You think he'd be back out
Not
there tonight?
good.
He finished 11th?
He'll be back at
Yeah.
11th. Yeah. Hey, and I don't know if people know this, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the Nationwide Series champion, is now part owner of Jason Johnson's team, and they are running those Roush Yates Fords in the sprint car. And last night they couldn't get that thing to fire, and he missed his heat race. Had to come out and run the B, start at the back of the B, work his way up through the field to get the final transfer spot, only to roar up through the field to get him a 7th-place finish. So Ricky Stenhouse now a supporter of the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Car Tour. That's pretty cool.
And tomorrow you're heading out to the Phoenix International Raceway. What kind of a race we're going to see?
1 minute.
Yep, I'm going to go out there. Tony Bruce, last night's winner, and I and his crew are going to go out there and hang out. I think Brady Bacon's going to go with us as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of our guys that I travel up and down the road with going to hang out and watch the Cup race at PIR. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing that and looking forward to tonight's broadcast again. Get underway, 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock local time out here in the Southwest. We want to thank McCarthy Chevrolet for being our sponsor. Don't forget, you can go out to McCarthy right now and save up to $12,000 on Silverado pickups or get 0% interest if you choose to do so. So they've got great deals, and I promise you nobody's going to beat their prices, and if they do, they're going to give you $10,000. So go out and tell Brian Schaefer that the Racing Boys sent you, would you? For Kirk, I'm Scott. Don't forget, hour number 2 coming up here on RacinBoys.com. It's the Hall of Fame show. Kirk Elliott and all the inductees for tonight's Hall of Fame ceremonies. For Kirk, for everybody, we'll see you next week.